So, what really got us into it was her sense of justice was immediately pegged. She's like, this is really cool. I think you would be interested in this.
Mm-hmm.
We, pretty much on coming into the clinic, the conversation is had with, especially talking about the sliding scale, talking about being part of a cooperative. It's introduced, and I was drawn to it because I almost didn't believe in it. I'm like, are you, I still, to this day, it's been a couple of years I've been a POCA member, and I'm just like, I'm still impressed that it works. And honestly, it's like, I want to help, because it's like, I'm part of this because I want to make sure that this keeps going.
Right.
Because I don't want to see something like this go away.
Yeah.
This is really, really helpful. It's a great mission. So,
And as Alexa said, if traditional acupuncture is diminishing, then we've got to fill the gap. So,
I guess in that sense, it's kind of like those guilt public radio fund drives.
Oh,
It's kind of like, it's like, yeah, without you, the
well,
service
I will not tell you an entertaining story.
You'll never hear Democracy Now! Ever again. You will be fucked. You have to give us money. It's like, oh, okay, so we can just guilt people into joining POCA. It's like, I'm kidding, but yeah, in the same way.
But it's providing that feeling of being a part of something. Yeah. But I think you're right. You don't necessarily want an equal necessary representation of patients and punks at a meeting. Because then maybe that's going to shift the power a little bit, shift the balance. Maybe not. I don't know. It's interesting. Because the fact that there's very few patient members here this weekend, I think you may be
one of the only. I don't know if there are any other patient members here. So, I mean, you guys are the ones steering the ship. You guys are the ones that are in control because it's your clinics. You guys know exactly what you're doing as far as...
You think we know what we're doing.
You're doing a good job figuring
It's our patients, though, that tell us where to go a lot of the time.
we're working for you.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So I think that the possibility of maybe just bringing up the conversation a little more often in the clinic. So I defer back to front desk staff, if you have it, just to be a little more cognizant and mention it, because if it happens on intake, happens in the very beginning, and then you don't hear much about it, you don't see much about it, you could do more, not even big events.
We have a board behind the desk that's like all the local POCA clinics.
Yeah.
And if someone's going on vacation, if they say to me like, oh, I'm going to miss my appointment next week, or not miss my appointment, but I'm not going to schedule an appointment for next week because I'm going to be visiting my son in Miami, I'm going to say, oh, hold on, let me see if I can find you a clinic in Miami. It's making sure your front desk does that, because I know not all my fellow front desk people do that. I think most of us do, but not everybody does. And saying to them, and then they'll go, well, what do you mean? I'll go, well,
this is
part of a cooperative, and even if you're not a member, you can still be going seeing. Yeah, you'll pay your new patient fee.
This is a question for you that I have to make time before everybody departs to try to, like, the invisible receptionist thing. Do you have a receptionist?
I have both. I do IR and real reception at the same time. I'm a 5. I don't want people there all the time.
Right.
Like here's the reception conversation. You've come to reception for me. I'm an introvert. I will not talk to you for the next 2 months. We will work separately on our individual tasks. After 2 months, I may engage in broken 2-minute conversations.
That's why you have so much signage.
In 6 or...
Signage is great.
Okay.
You have a map behind with
that's why I love invisible receptionists. I couldn't deal. I'm like, I don't want to talk.
It's funny because sometimes I understand things instinctually before I intellectualize the understanding of what my actions are, and it shocks me. And so it's like, I love POCA, right? I sometimes forget why. Like, I honestly, I'm like, what is, like, why do I have this on everything that, like, all the intake?
I was saying it's on our intake
It's
form,
like the flyers that I was using to kind of flyer the area before I opened. The front was my information, and on the back was just the POCA symbol. And I'm like, and I remember driving around going like, why do I have POCA so intimately involved in this? And so, like, of course, timing is everything, and things happen for everything.
Yeah.
Coming here and having the keynote speech, I'll end in a second. The keynote speech and hearing you, and also the social business thing. It was just like, this is what I get it. Okay, now I'm back. And I understand. And now I understand. Thank you for the signs. I figured that was probably the
keeping it visible.
tons of
Yeah,
signage.
reminders.
Get
Get the conversation
the
going.
table of elements. Skip has that table of elements poster. I don't know how many he has left, but
Yeah.
we put that in the bathroom
I'm
on the
thinking-
wall.
I'm thinking maybe of like a poster that says like want to get more involved, and then like this is how you can get involved on a local level, and this is how you
Sure.
can get involved on like
Yep.
a North America wide level.
And having the business cards of the area clinics, because
Yeah.
if you're not running a huge amount of hours,
Yeah.
like MAS, we're
We
open
don't have
either
that,
in
but-
Manchester and Nashville, like we're open 7 days a week, 365 days a year. But maybe someone lives not in the area and they happen to come visit a friend. So you're gonna be in Salem. I'm gonna give you the Salem card. You're gonna, oh, we came up for because your grandmother asked you to come with her, but you really live in Haverhill, Mass. I'm gonna give you the card for the, you know. So having those readily available, because then they're gonna go, well, why am I going to this other clinic? Well, that's part of POCA. It's having that conversation. Where are you from? And you see it on their intake form. You see their address. So you can say to them, not that you want to turn them away from your clinic, but if you see someone's coming from Burlington, is there a clinic in Burlington?
Yes.
Yeah. You're not going to necessarily want them to not come to you,
Right.
but if they just happen to be in Waterbury for the day or
Sure.
you're going to say to them, you know, it's great, I love that you're here, and I really would love to see you back. But if you find that it's more convenient, we have a cooperative partner in Burlington. It just bringing up the word cooperative, and then they're going to go, well, I kind of want to see Travis because he was nice about this, you know. So it's having the conversation as often as we can. But Miss Jade, I'm sorry, you had.
No, that kind of answered. But I guess, like, for me, it's like understanding the process of like, because when I first learned about CAN and then learned about POCA, like, it took me a while to feel like I fit in, or this is a we and not you guys.
Yeah.
Like, so it took me like a couple years to really get into the buy-in and understanding in the rah stage. So like, like as a patient, I understand signage just starts the initial questions, but like, without POCA Fest, without one-on-one conversations, how do you like hit that light bulb point, or how was the progression, like, where you started, this is like interesting, and maybe I should, do something, and oh, maybe I really like this, how do you go through that process?
It's really funny that you bring some of that up, because my personality type, I always feel like I'm on the outside, that I'm not included, that I'm not cool enough for anything.
Yay, fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's an organization, there's people the warm, friendly people that introduce you to it. So the MAS staff, they're fantastic, and they are big POCA supporters.
Yeah.
Right.
So because they're so involved, Andy and Rafi are just, like some of the biggest cheerleaders for this stuff, and they're genuine about it. They're not, I never once felt like they were blowing smoke at my ass.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Then- Andy will flat out, like the first conversation I had with him, like you and like half the people we know, he swears, he's on the level. He's just like, you know what? I'm not going to bullshit you. This is how I feel about something. This is what I want to tell you about something, and this is how it is. So there's no feeling of having something being sold to you. It's someone who actually believes in what they're saying, telling you about it. So it's like, okay, I believe in this. I think this is awesome. This is what I'm doing personally. So I'm leading by example while telling you this. This is great. If you want to join, awesome. If not, you can be a patient. You can do whatever you want. You can go eat shit. I don't care. It's one of those type of things that you have that feeling that it's just
We don't
like,
put that on documentation.
yeah, it is truly that that level of just honesty and being upfront that this is what we're about, this is what we're offering, this is what you'll see, and if this is something that interests you, we can gladly give you more information. And I do think that for some people that there should be a little more reinforcement, because I am married to a cheerleader who is a bull in a china shop. I definitely had a little more poking and prodding on the backside. So because
Right.
I think the first regional meeting you went to was because I was like, I'm not driving down there by myself. It was
yeah,
my first regional meeting, and it was like, it didn't actually end at Steve's clinic. And I was like, that's like 45 minutes and it's near your parents. Why don't we go to the meeting and then we'll go hang out with your parents? I'm like, I'm not driving down by myself. And then he's
you're
like,
like,
wait, I like
you want to
this.
come with me? You're like, I'm like, okay. You're like, no, you're coming.
Yeah.
I was listening to you, I was thinking about, so from your perspective, you have everything you just said. Someone who, your partner worked with reception, and you're drawn to political things anyways, and justice, so everything kind of worked out in that regard. And there's this friendliness at the clinic that
Yes.
makes, I'm assuming, in addition to you two patients,
Right.
others feel that.
I'm hearing like a non-judgmental space.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Friendliness.
absolutely.
We like to be the third space.
Right,
Is
right.
that's what it's called? The
Your
third
chairs are hard. Your chairs are great. Whatever. We're not going to change shit like that. But it's good, it's good to have some ideas. Then the next step is easier.
Yeah.
You know, like
Well,
the next step was
being
like
heard
that,
is
or-
really important. Like
Yeah.
sending out a survey means like we've done, it's a
Even if
lot
you-
of work. Your voice matters. And if we could just share a survey on like the Google stuff, it'll be so easy to just email it, to different clinics' mailing lists. It's not.
Even if people don't, even